Its jagged granite peaks tower to 12,600 feet. With the gorge called Hell's Canyon deeper than the Grand Canyon. One of the last remaining states where tall trees stretch as far as the eye can see. Here's a place where man can recapture the relationship his forebears had with the raw land. Just about halfway between the North Pole and the equator, with its narrow panhandle touching America's border with Canada. Making a strange design when lifted out of a map of America is a place called Idaho. If you really want to see this wild, untamed slice of America the way it was 1,000 years ago, join a happy breed of people called trail bike riders. Trail bike riders are bound together in their shared adventure in a statewide organization, the Idaho Trail Machine Association. They are pledged to its principle of conservation, courtesy, and safety. Their domain covers nearly 12 million acres, a trail system unsurpassed for spectacular scenery and almost infinite variety. Only minutes away from Idaho's capital and largest city, Boise, the adventure begins. Idaho didn't discover the trail bike. The trail bike discovered Idaho. In future years, Idaho hopes to see international trail bike riders exploring its vast nature lands. Bike trails begin just outside Idaho's major cities. In less than 30 minutes from urban doorsteps, riders can be on their bikes, out of the sight and sound of modern civilization. Any person, young or old, with normal reflexes and in good health, can learn to ride a trail bike. Everyone is a beginner sometime, but it's amazing how quickly skills are acquired and confidence gained. Trail bike riders teach one another. It's not a competitive sport. It's a cooperative pastime made up of folks who welcome newcomers and graciously help them to become skilled trail bike riders. Of course, young riders who learn early on small bikes tend to become supremely at ease when they graduate to full-size bikes, often exceeding their elders in their acquired skills. In a day when parents are desperately seeking ways to make and keep a bond with their offspring, the world of the trail bike has brought many families into closer communion with each other and with nature. Trail bike riders who belong to the Idaho Trail Machine Association all subscribe to a code of outdoorsmanship that spells love and care for the land. Some groups take part in the Adopt a Trail program. They assume the responsibilities of maintaining and improving specific trails, and they take intense pride in making their trail perfect in every way. Yes, it is group concern of this kind that has made friends with Idaho's land managers.
We, as the public land managers of this part of the public domain, have worked with the local organizations in providing a managed trail system for this type of use. And we're very pleased and glad to be a part of the organized effort to control the activities and the impacts associated with off-road vehicle use on wild lands.
The government and private overseers of these expanses endorse the spirit of organized trail riding. Trail bike riding is not racing, it's pacing. Moderate speeds and frequent stops preserve the social quality of the outing. Congenial groups are made up of individuals with wide-ranging interests, so they're often learning from one another as they stop to admire some new and striking feature of the landscape. Chapters of the Idaho Trail Machine Association now cover the major regions of the state. In addition to the Treasure Valley group around Boise and the Magic Valley chapter at Twin Falls, there are organized groups in Pocatello, Idaho Falls, the Snake River chapter at Rupert, and in the Northern Panhandle region at St. Mary's and Coeur d'Alene. Eventually, there will be others covering the entire state. Trail bike riding is growing in popularity and offers a far longer season than winter sports, from early spring to late fall. Trail bike riders come in every size and age. Sometimes 3 generations of one family ride together. They come from every walk of life: farmers, mechanics, bankers, doctors, engineers, often followed by their offspring, to the trails that only Idaho has to offer the adventurer. In the southwest corner of Idaho, where the desert first meets the mountains, the sprawling terrain gives trail bike riders nearly anything they want. From broad flatlands where they can move along at freeway speeds, to winding trails and steep grades that lead up through the foothills toward the peaks beyond. North of Boise, just minutes from the amenities that the city has to offer, the visitor will discover the scenic beauty, wildlife, and exciting points of interest, like Idaho City, an old mining town and former capital of Idaho. No trail bike rider has yet covered every trail in the state. This would be a journey of 10,000 miles. Astonishing, but true. Trails that would stretch almost half the distance around the world, all in the state of Idaho. The Snake River Plain along the southern end of Idaho was first explored by men on horseback and once echoed to the sound of wagon trains. Now trail bike riders penetrate its most remote regions with speed, ease, and comfort undreamed of by the people who first saw this land. If you are looking for the Swiss Alps, you'll find mountains that equal their majesty. The Sawtooth Range, located just north of the world-famous Sun Valley, Idaho, best known for its skiing and winter activities, and Stanley, known for its primitive beauty, fishing, hiking, and spectacular trail bike riding. The river canyons around Idaho Falls are dramatic reminders of how long these waterways have been etching their history in the face of the land. Northeast of the city, located on the South Fork of the Snake River, is a trail system fondly known to the trail bike rider as the South Fork Trail. Experiences for the trail bike rider in this area range from a quiet ride along the river through a meadow, conquering a narrow stretch of trail, then standing at the edge of a river canyon, watching your fellow trail riders negotiating the valley trail hundreds of feet below. Views that are spectacular. The natural wonders around Pocatello, Idaho are a perfect backdrop for a trail bike weekend. With vast open country just outside the city in every direction. South of the city, in less than 30 minutes, you will be enjoying the trail system around Slate Mountain. This area has over 300 miles of trails that take the rider from a dramatic view of the city and valley below to a winding trail through stands of quaking aspen. Then to visit the beauty and serenity of a beaver pond. The trail systems in Idaho are enjoyed by other groups, such as hikers, mountain bikers, and horse riders, and they're sharing these trails with cooperation and outdoorsmanship. After a hard day of riding the trail, a stop for a soothing soak at Lava Hot Springs would just fill the bill. The Panhandle region of Idaho, that narrow strip that touches Canada, is yet another world now being discovered by the trail bike riders in pursuit of new and even grander sights. Trail bike riding is permitted only in certain areas and on designated trails, identified by the Forest Service, Bureau of Land Management, and other agencies. The quiet purring of a trail bike has become an accepted sound in the out-of-doors. Even birds and animals have become accustomed to the muffled echo of the trail machines wending their way through the most remote regions. Nature on a grand scale is just waiting for the visitor. Trail bike riding has a pronounced effect on Idaho's economy. The initial investment in the nearly 50,000 trail bikes is staggering. A whole network of dealers offering parts and repair has blossomed into a new industry. In one recent year, in the 1980s, trail bike riding poured $15 million into Idaho's economy. Motels, restaurants, and tourist attractions all shared in this flow of cash during the 3 seasons of spring, summer, and fall. For the overnight campers who want to get away from commonplace campsites at the edge of the highway, trail bike riding offers the ultimate experience. The perfect way of packing in. This vast trail system is maintained statewide through funds derived from the sale of trail bike stickers to trail bike owners. If you suddenly realize that perhaps you and your family, are missing something, any trail bike dealer can put you in touch with the nearest chapter of the Idaho Trail Machine Association. You can meet some of its members and get first-hand information on Idaho's trails and other accommodations that you may need. Ever been on a mountaintop as though spirited there on 7-league boots? Skimmed through icy streams without getting your feet wet? Ever seen the world as it was before the dawn of time? There's a magic machine that can take you to such places, to the heart of nature. On a trail bike, you'll find what you want. Congenial company. Sharing the wonders. Or, if you choose, a solitary escape. and adventure and self-discovery. To a hill beyond a hill, in a land called Idaho.